not safe up there.
Nah, it's all over otherwise. Oh well. Take a look at my ugly mug. Evening all. What's going on here then? Be cool tonight. Well, not cold, but it's cool. Drink surely. What would you like?
Oh, I did a tray of ice. I got to tip it out and fill it up again.
So you got no ice.
I did. I filled it, but I forgot to tip it up and refill
Oh,
it
that's
to
right.
get
How
more.
long ago did you do that?
Oh, about 5 hours ago.
Oh, no, it'll be frozen by now.
Well, apparently it only takes 2 hours, and I meant to do it again.
Oh boy. Jump right. You cold?
A little bit. I'll get my dressing gown in a minute.
Mm. Saturday night. Pretty quiet, really, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's pretty quiet.
I said yes.
I didn't hear you. I do apologise. Maddie. You had lamb
It's not
stew
quiet,
for
actually.
dinner?
It's quite busy.
Is it?
I reckon there's a lot of traffic on the road tonight for our area.
Maybe they're going out. Hello, rejects. Yes, we had delicious lamb stew. Underrated is lamb. I know Americans don't eat a lot of lamb, but they should. It's delicious. So we had a quiet day today. We just babysitted 2 dogs and 2 of the grandchildren. What's been happening in the wonderful world of YouTube? Peace has befallen. Everyone is cooperating with each other and there are no more arguments. Nah, I wouldn't believe that.
Chinese buffet.
Chinese food. A buffet. Up and down, fill her up, go back, fill her up again. Hello, Loss. Wife's over there. We're contemplating having a drink. I did a little bit more work on the pad today, so it'll be forming up Monday morning. Last of the plumbing goes into the 2 en-suites down the back. I'm guessing 2 weeks, maybe a bit more, and the concrete slab will be down. Hello, VMAC. And then everyone will get an idea. I know we build a bit different to other countries. We build very strong houses, believe me.
VMAC, my chocolate goddess.
I should have seen this one last night,
Oh
VMAC.
man, I made myself sick.
I got a gift. It was a bucket. I'm not kidding. It was a bucket.
Ice bucket.
Big bucket. It was quite big, and it was full of chocolate. And in the middle was a big bottle of 12-year-old Scotch whiskey. Hello, High Country. You're on night shift. No worries. Good to see you, mate. How's the roof fixing going? No roof fixing happening yet. That's the last thing they put up. But as soon as the concrete slab down, it's got a cure for about 5-10 days. And the walls will go up, the windows will go in, and then you guys will get a bit of perspective. It's all very hard, even when you just see a slab of concrete. And people go, it doesn't make sense. There is videos that we did a long time ago about the plans to the house. I don't know where they are. If you could be bothered, maybe I'll do a video of the plans again shortly when they start putting the slab down. That way you'll get a bit of perspective.
Yes, diet next week. I'm going on a diet next week
Why?
because I've been eating too much chocolate.
Oh, well, I've been forcing it down on you. She eats chocolate. Yeah, I suppose it'll take a couple of weeks to sort itself out there, mate. I love farmers markets. You get to see local producers, and even like you see the same fruit and veg, but grown in different areas. You can see the difference.
Yeah, but it's been a bit hard because of the hurricane.
What have you been up to all day? Dog sitting, babysitting, cooking a lamb stew. That's about it, really. Watched a little bit of footy. So you've got power back now, I guess, though, VMAC. We have codes in our country, depending where you live, on how your building must be applied. Like further north from here, they must withstand, and I'm not kidding you, 300 kilometre-hour winds. They're just incredibly strong, and even where we are, we've got to work on about 220. Oh, the lamb stew is so easy to make.
I said the lamb stew sounds the most exciting. Yeah, well, when you've got, because you've seen bits of inside our little cottage, when you've got 2 dogs, 2 adults and 2 grandkids, small front lounge room, oh my god, it's just not enough room.
That'll all change shortly. Internet took a while to come back. Okay. I thought that would have been one of the first things to come up. It's like, I mean, here in Australia we have what's called the NBN, which is cable laid all over this country for high-speed internet.
Which isn't always good.
Which works, don't get me wrong, but technology is so advanced that if I pick up my mobile phone and look even just for my 4G, my house speed is about 35, isn't it, roughly?
Oh, hey, Vinny.
G'day, Vinny. About 35, but my 4G picks up 100, and we've got 5G kipping in. Oh, using the microphone to speak. So you still got this flu? So you sound like you were coming down with it a few days ago.
Yeah, you didn't sound good at all. Look after yourself. Oh, Benny, sorry, Burrow, Benny instead of Vinny.
I know what you meant.
Well, check.
Yeah, but we have different building codes for different areas of Australia. Like Victoria has certain building code. It's to do with wind speed, basically. There are zones. Yeah, they call that cap something, don't they, in VMAC in Canada? A mate of mine was telling me about it.
Yeah, Vinny? Different method in Victoria.
It's basically, well, you know what extensions like, Vinny. We're doing a double brick extension to a old cottage. They're sort of building it independent. What ties it in is obviously the roof. The back plane comes off. Have a bit of a valley either side and a new pitch down the middle. And of course the Jarrah floorboards coming from the old kitchen right through to the new part. That ties it in as well. But as far as the structure, additions are basically independent other than the roof and ripping a bloody big hole in the wall.
Probably supposed to be resting, hey VMAC.
Do what he wants to do. I mean, I've got to be honest, I've spent time in hospital, Vinny, and it's the most fucking boring place on earth. There's always some old fart complaining, some nasty nurse. And you get that as well. Like, what's the safest place to be not to catch bugs or bacteria or viruses? Not a hospital. It's like the worst place, and it's proven statistically ever to go, is an ER room. There was all sorts of people, all sorts of nasties. Have they given you a tin of Glen 26, mate, so you can spray everything?
It's just called Glen 20.
Glen 20.
Glen 26.
I don't know where the 26 came, but Benny knows what I'm talking about. Glen 20. Antibacterial spray, that does the job.
Freddie Hollows, that's what Emma Mark do.
Yeah. Good bloke, Fred Hollows. But you'll be having the change of weather coming in now, I guess. Both you and Roo, VMAC will be having your rapid change from summer to winter. I've got several friends in real life in Canada and they say, yeah, it's not really an autumn. It sort of goes from nice to shitty. I'm sure that's not the same for all of Canada, but the 3 people I know in Canada, that's how they explain it. It goes from nice summery days to shit. Coming up to 26 days. Another 14 days, Vinny. You would have been 40 days in the wilderness, and then you can come out. That seems right. You just buy a pair of fucking sandals and a big staff and grow your beard. Yeah, I'm sure it is, mate. It's the same in our country, like where Vinny lives, he gets freezings during winter, and it's not so bad here. Poor old Melbourne, they'll have 40 degrees one day, 18 the next, storm, rain. We have a fairly constant summer. Yeah, I mean, quitting smoking's an obvious one. Losing weight, well, you're a bit chunky, mate, let's be honest. As Chopper would say, come here, Vinny, you're a little bit chunky, mate. So get rid of the chunkiness.
Yes, I feel a bit chunky from all the chocolate I've been eating.
I mean, you're not 6'5" like me. I think I'm 230 pound.
Yeah, it was a nice day here today.
8 degrees, bloody hell. Sun is shining.
Until you get out. You cheeky Vinny.
Yeah, Aussies don't really mind the cold that much. Like, I'm damn sure Vinny would wander around his paddock in a pair of shorts and sandals during winter. It's just the wind. The wind kicks in, it's a different story. G'day, Adam. But here we hit 33 degrees the other day, and it was 30, and now it's into the 24s, 25. Next Wednesday, the forecast is for 16. It's that very last flicker of the Antarctic fronts coming up, and then it's done. It's finished.
Oh, it's tonight. It's cold here tonight.
Yeah, no, I like I do like winter, I must admit, because our winters are very mild. 16. Yeah, we sort of got the reverse in my state, VMAC. We get the wind south from the Antarctica.
Well,
yeah, you got a long haul, mate. I mean, it doesn't end when you get out of hospital, obviously.
quick, get the camera ready.
Here comes these
I can't. Not
dicks
quick
on
enough.
motorbikes. Here they come. Have a listen.
Damn.
3 dickheads on motocross bikes, probably 90 up to 100 cc's. No helmets, no lights.
I couldn't get me video camera on quick enough. Well, Vinny, just look. Don't look at how far you've got to go. Look at how far you've come, Vinny.
Yeah, no. I mean, Vinny would say the same thing I'm going to say. Shit happens. And you got to deal with it. It's going to be, like I say, no, you wouldn't wish this on anyone. I've had friends that have had strokes, and some have fully recovered, some haven't. It's the roll of the dice. And it's also a little bit of get up and go. Like, I never thought my mate would ever move his arms again. But he did. It took him about 2 years. He was about 6 months in hospital. About 2 months in the ICU. Those bikes, you could still hear them. They'd be like 2 kilometres away now. And there's not a cop car around. Look, I'm just worried they'll kill someone. Yeah, the wind. I've been through. When we went down to Warrnambool when you couldn't make it there, Vinny. Geez, the
Oh man,
front came in there.
that was cold.
Shitty, cold, wet, windy, and I'm thinking, no, we're not going to live here. I tell you, Vinny, if you ever do pick up a cigarette, even though it's only been 20 odd days, tastes foul, stale as crap, and you cough like a beaver. There's a rapid change from when you stop smoking. I've done it twice. I did it for 11 years the first time. Then what, about a year? Hello? About a year.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
About a year. And every time, that first cigarette's like getting a high. But there's lots to more that makes life up. Not just smoking and drinking and whoring around. Life's got lots of little gifts. Lots of little shit puddles you got to run through, but it's pretty good. While you're breathing and kicking, enjoy it.
Okay, I think the bike's coming back. I'll get my camera ready.
Righto.
Send to the coppers.
Yeah, well, I don't mind young fellas having fun. That's not what I'm about, but they are dangerous. They would have come past you at about 90k then, about 55 mile an hour in a 40k zone. That's what it is, mate. I've been fortunate in my life. I've probably nearly fallen off the perch 2 or maybe even 3 times. I'm still here. Like I say, life kicks you in the guts.
I just got to remind everyone, Seeds is 60 tomorrow.
You don't believe
It's
a
his
word of
birthday
it.
tomorrow.
I don't believe a bloody word of it.
It is the big 60.
I'll take up marathon running now. As long as the marathons are only 100 metres. And I'm sure Vinny would back me up here. The last thing Vinny wants, and I know you guys probably don't get it, some of you guys, he doesn't want anyone's sympathy. That's the last fucking thing. It's like anytime you see someone in a bloody wheelchair, people avoid it. You know, like you see a pack of fish on the edge of the ocean, and then a shark comes along, but all the fish disappear either side. That's what people do to people in wheelchairs. I have to tell you a little secret. They didn't lose their fucking brains when they went in a wheelchair. I used to take the piss out of my mate. He got terribly injured in a footy match and ended up being a quadriplegic. I went to a few barbecues and he was there, and I'd go and get him a beer and then I'd finish it and he'd finish his, and he said, it's time for another one, and I'd say, it's your time to go and get it, you lazy prick. And he can only move his little finger. What did he do? Laughed his box off. He thought it was funny. He said, you're the only one that's treating me normal. Everyone else here is avoiding me. I said, because they're scared. They're frightened of saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, go.
And there's nothing wrong you can say. I mean, if someone is incapacitated to a certain extent, they're still human. Take the piss out of them still. Don't put cotton wool around them. Because believe me, they don't want it.
Yes, golf carts can be quite dangerous if you drive them too fast.
Well, yeah, I can vouch for that, Vinny. Paralysis is scary at first, but then you get used to it to your advantage, trust me. Yeah. Oh, I can't reach me beer. Give me another one. We all carry something. I mean, I've got shit that happens to my body all the time. But that's life. Believe me, if Vinny ends up having to use a wheelchair on and off, it'll end up being a V6, probably out of an old Bellina, mounted on the back, counterweights, little side panels, a bit of a GT stripe on it, and he'll do probably 120k down Collins Street.
Oh, what?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Vinny, if he ever gets a wheelchair and has to keep it on and off, he'll end up building basically a supercar.
No, I can picture Vinny in one of those other things.
It's just, I mean, like I say, I've been in hospital a couple of times, and when you have to go in a wheelchair, you feel stupid. Do you know what I mean? You don't need anyone to tell you. You feel stupid. But it's not being stupid, it's just the shit that happens.
You always get a couple of nurses that aren't very nice, Vinny. I've worked in hospitals and nursing homes. They tend to like an area of the hospital, but if they don't like the patient, they try and get them moved. Or...
Yeah, some nurses shouldn't
Yeah.
be nurses. It's like when I was a prison officer. Some prison officers should not have been prison officers. Fucking more dangerous than the prisoners. Yeah, look, I'm guaranteed Vinny will be taking half an hour to go and scratch his ass, get up, have a shower and get back out. When someone could help him, it'd be 10 minutes. But that's not the point. He wants to do it himself. And that's fine.
Yeah, because you feel like you lose your dignity. That's why.
If a nurse has to come and wash your balls, Vinny, just tell her to do it slowly and look at you and say, "Who's your daddy?"
Stop it.
If that's what's got to happen, and you have to comply with the hospital rules, just remember she's got to look at you and say, "Who's your daddy?" And it'll all be good. Yeah, that's true, VMAC. I mean, just because someone's a bastard walking around and when they end up in a wheelchair, they're still a prick.
Yeah, we get idiots like that too, VMAC.
I mean, I'm even with my showers that we're adding on, Vinny. I'm building 1.2 metre wide shower by, what is that, 1.9, isn't it, long?
Yeah, with a big opening.
Big opening. And I'm
walk-in.
putting in bars. Why? Because, well, I might need the bloody thing. I'm just logic. The guy said, "That's a bloody big shower." I said, "Yep. Don't need it that big." I said, "You're building that big, or I'll do it."
That's true, Adam. What if Vinny gets a male nurse?
Well, you just say, tell him, don't worry about who's your daddy bit, just say, "Who's your mummy?" It's like the old prison story. Vinny knows this one. Guy goes to prison, bit nervous, goes into the cell. There's this big guy there, really big guy. Nice, yeah, seems very nice. And the doors get closed at night time, and he leans over to the young fella and says, "Well, this is prison, son. Do you want to be mummy or do you want to be daddy?" And the young bloke thought, "Shit, I'm in a bit of a pickle here. I'll be daddy." And he says, "Okay, come over and suck mummy's cock."
That's disgusting.
That's a mild one, trust me. Yeah, that'll get attention. You'll definitely get attention by doing it. It's like the loudest bell gets the most attention. That's right, VMAC.
Well, that's the Seeds always says, "Yeah, it doesn't mind him. Just don't play in my backyard."
Yeah, I don't mind people, whatever their sexuality is, but don't come play around with my ass, because I'll drop you. Yeah, I think the dignity is the loss of dignity is a necessity on occasions, like having a tube put up your willy.
Hey, Monchichi.
That's sort of like a little bit of dignity lost there. It was merely a prison joke, Danny. It was just, and you weren't here, so because you're a lady, a fine asshole lady, I wouldn't have said it, of course. I've had a couple of things that I would compare to childbirth.
Like what?
Well, kidney stones when I was about 28. I just wanted to die. I'll be honest with you. I eventually was in my spa. I'd taken a heap of painkillers, which I hate taking medication, believe me. And boop, while I was in the spa, one of these stones came out. But I've got to tell you, the travelling from the urinary tract to the out of the end fella is agonising.
Yeah, you're saying
B-Mac,
BMAC's not a lady.
You're not a lady, because me and you go camping.
Oh.
All right? So you're a mate. It's hard for people in other countries to understand. We've got Muslims in our family. They're lovely people. The conception of religion and race should only be based on behaviour.
They are a bit more caring, Vinny, because they're
VMAC,
natural.
VMAC, trust me, you don't want kidney stones.
Vinny, their natural thing in their culture is to look after families. So when they go into the nursing sector or hospital, they seem to carry that through their respect and all that with people.
Yeah, tooth pain's a bit of a bastard, let's be honest. I had to once, and my wife's standing here, she knows, I was so bad with a tooth infection. The antibiotics weren't working, so I went down to this local dentist, and he was about to lock up. And he said, "Oh, fine, I'll fit you in." I got the smallest amount of liquid pumped in there, and it didn't work. So I had this second molar ripped out, basically with no anaesthetic, and I didn't care.
No, because the pain was that bad, he just wanted it out.
I basically just said, he said, "I'm getting out." I said, "Rip the little shit out."
Yeah, the dentist said, it's not numb yet. I said, "I don't care."
And irony is, about 2 minutes later, yeah, blood going everywhere, pus going everywhere, washed my mouth out. I felt great. It was excruciating pain.
Yes, toothache isn't nice.
Well, BMAC, you told me you weren't a girly girl. So don't come the big high horse with me, young lady. I'm not a girly girl. I suppose because I was a kid, it didn't seem as dramatic, but I got run over by a car. Broke my leg in about 8-9 places. Luckily, the leg took most of the impact when I went under on one wheel. And I was cut and bruised and whatever, but the irony, where I got hit, and I kid you not, this was in the UK as a boy, where I got hit, I got up and ran across the road, even though I really had no use of my right leg. I ran, then I felt like I fell down a hole. It was just adrenaline that kicked in. But I fell on the side of the path, and behind me was an ambulance bay. So they went, "Ribbit," and just opened the boot. So it took me about 2 minutes to get into an ambulance, which was quite extraordinary. But I had shit for about a year with that. But it could have been my head, but it was my leg. I hit the ground with my head, but a car didn't run over the top of me on my head, so my leg looked a little bit like spaghetti, actually. And when you run, well, I'm not going to let you, but you can run your fingers up and down my bones. You see little lumps and bumps all the way through where the bone heals.
Oh, I couldn't imagine a toothache being worse than getting shot at them. Then again, I don't sort of ever want to know what that feels like personally. I know what tooth pain feels like, but
well, I know being stabbed feels like you're just being punched, and then you got a hole in you. Because I've got a couple of them. Oh, I see.
Ah, yeah.
Well, I can tell you, Dan, if you come to Australia, in our colloquial language, I speak very politely and cleanly on here most of the time, but that's not really the case in every day-to-day.
Any accidents, diseases, sickness, whatever, does not discriminate. Doesn't matter if you're healthy, not healthy, smoke, don't smoke, athletic, not athletic. It just doesn't matter. I know a 26-year-old that died heart attack. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, fell down dead within 5 seconds. Hey.
I told the story about my mate on the cricket field. He was a super fit athlete, did the bike thing and basketball during the off-season and cricket, very good cricketer. Took a catch, fell over and died. Stroke.
And that cricketer, a couple of years ago, got hit in the head with a cricket ball.
Yeah, that would have been a stroke to his brain too. Thing about broken bones and being cut open badly is that you can recover. But when the brain gets affected, you can recover, and sometimes you might lose a bit. Yeah, we're sort of old school because with the additions. Hello, MB, Pixie. We're actually keeping some of the same type of fittings from the old cottage into the new. It's sort of a new addition with a bit of an old flavour. Yeah, I've seen all the smart gear. It's not that expensive. You can add it on later if you want to. A mate of mine shot himself in the foot with a 22 Hornet. A bit more powerful than I think it's 222 actually.
Oh yeah, that's what Adam was saying. He was
No,
hunting.
it's a 22. 222's
Oh, I don't know.
Hornet. Anyway, he was just sitting near the fire. For some reason, he pulled the trigger and between his big toe and his first toe, big hole.
I say your brother's passed, Adam. That's...
Well, I've encountered, of the friends we do know in Canada, there's a huge difference in regional dialect, if you like. Same language, but there could be a little bit of French influence in them, and there could be a little bit of English influence in them.
Oh, that's sad, Adam.
Drugs are just a pain in the ass. I mean, for thousands of years, humans have been consuming some type of hallucinogenic, mushrooms, fungus, plants, cocoa leaves. It's not like it's not being done, but the chemicals used today kill people, fry their brains.
Oh, that's Adam. That's horrible to hear. See you, Danny G.
Have a good one, Danny.
I lived up at a mining town. There was a guy, did his work regularly, he was there for years, but liked his heroin. He was late for work one day and then they had to go break into his house. He'd overdosed while he was sitting on the toilet.
It's their culture, Vinny. I know we've got family members that are Muslims and their culture is that. In their Quran, you should live for others. A lot of similarities between the Bible and the Quran, actually, but just a different top guy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's their culture, Vinny. They're very respectful of family, and when there's illness, they take very good care. So accept it and just be thankful that you got someone good like that. Yeah, it would be tough, Adam. Not good at all.
No,
Life sometimes can be a bitch, can't it?
Well, I mean, losing your kids, it's sort of we don't want to go before our kids. We've got a very close friend who we're catching up with tomorrow, and her daughter committed suicide about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Just through depression over many years, anxieties, 4 kids, husband, and
Successful business, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate.
no, she gassed herself and she died. So, thing about suicide, it leaves a lot of victims, not just the person that commits it.
Oh, any death does.
Well, if she'd have died in a car accident, it would have been different. I mean, one of her daughters actually found her, which was horrible.
All within 8 years, yeah.
Well, Adam, all I can say is that you're meant to be around for some reason. Not sure what it is, and I'm pretty sure you won't know what it is. But you're here. I did that between the web of my fingers when I was pitching a roof, Vinny. Just got between the thumb and the forefinger, holding the beam, and
That's right, VMAC.
very quick though.
They are very good. They are their first helpful.
Ah, all right, yeah, that little slimy bit on the nails, yeah. I got mine right between
Playing the lottery out of
the finger, a thumb, and basically just on the edge. So I just tore it off and whacked the betadine on and thought, what a dickhead that was.
Hey, Jojo.
Hello, Jojo. Yes, we do. We have financing over 99 years.
Hey, I saw your car, Jojo.
We take a convertible as a deposit, and
That convertible.
you have 5 minutes for every $5,000.
That would not have been fun shooting yourself with a nail gun. No, thank you.
Actually, Vinny would have done it. I used to do it. We used to muck around and fire the nail gun at targets, 40 feet away. Everyone does that.
I'll have mine with milk, thanks, VMAC.
It doesn't really hurt when it goes in that quick. Well, my experience was like, oh shit, what have I done?
Man, you heard Jojo's niece play the piano?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
did you teach your niece, Jojo? She's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's like when you get a therapist say, come on, Vinny, you can
Yeah.
walk better. And then you say, well, actually, I couldn't fucking walk better before I had the stroke.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
It's,
I had a discussion with you about that. I reckon some of the issues you're facing now may have come from that original injury. I have no doubt about that at all.
so it's your right leg. It's his right leg, isn't it? It's your right leg, Vinny.
Well, as Vinny puts it, his fuck's leg.
Yeah, it's your right leg, isn't it, Vinny? Yeah.
I mean, I suppose above everything else, the wake-up call is, fuck, I better lose a bit of weight, and I better stop smoking. And I wouldn't say stop drinking, but obviously just have the odd glass, a few cheese and crackers. I mean, I am 60 tomorrow, and I know my limitations. I could have built what I'm doing on now 10 years ago easily, not a problem. But I couldn't do it today. I wouldn't go on a roof and pitch. The balance is not that good. I haven't felt my feet or calves for a few years because I have peripheral neuropathy, but I deal with it. But I'm a realist. It's not that I don't have the knowledge, I just don't have the body to pursue that knowledge like I used to. That's it. Yeah, I'm now only officially 10 years younger than Jojo.
Oh, what? Jojo's not 70.
Isn't he? Jeez, he looks it.
Actually, you kept saying you were born in 1859, so you're not 60 tomorrow. You're what? 160 something.
It's just a number. While you're living and breathing, have a crack at whatever you can do. Yeah, 85. I thought he was... I said 70, but I was being polite. Age gives you a couple of things. One, experience. and you have a whole heap of stuff-ups that you've done through your life. Now, people call that experience, but they're usually a collective of mistakes that you've made. And as you get older, you can pass on a word of advice to people in regards to maybe that's not a good idea, based on the fact that it wasn't a very good idea for me.
I turn into a grumpy old man. I don't think that can be ever stopped, VMAC.
No, grumpy's not good. But you don't think any differently than when you were 30, other than life experiences that you get as you go along. You still think at about the age 30. You often think you can still do things, and you go do them, then you're lying on the couch about an hour later saying, geez, I wish I didn't do that. So that's your restriction, the mechanics of your body. That's it.
That's true, Jojo. Yep, grandkids tend to do that. And puppy dogs. And cats.
Yep.
And animals in
We've got
general.
plenty of them. But like I say, you can face adversity in life. There is only really two options. One is to deal with it, and the other one is to give up. And I'll deal with whatever I get best I can. Because when you give up, there's plenty of people around you who wish you didn't. Sometimes giving up is real easy, let's be honest. Moving on is hard. One mistake I conquered is no kids. Well, you're still young, mate. Yep, that's it, Adam. Because in the time that we are living and breathing until the time we stop doing that, I think if you can give to your people around you, people that mean the most to you, the best you can, on whatever level that is, that's rewarding. You know, I'll pass on, it'll happen. But I've got 5 kids and 9 grandkids. And little bits of me in all of them, do you know what I mean? Like a little bit of mannerisms, a bit of humour the same as mine, and all that moves on. So I leave, but I don't die. I know that's hard for some people to wrap their brain around, but the concept is you live on through the people that you deal with. I've got friends I've lost, like this good cricketer who just passed away on the field. He was a great friend, magnificent athlete, and I'm talking about him today. You know, this would have been 30 years ago. So he hasn't not been remembered. It's one of those things that some people come into your life and you take a little bit of them off them. In other words, you like what you see with the way that they speak, or how they deal with things, or their management controls, and how they relate to things that happen in life. And you think, I like that, I'll pinch that, and I'll use a bit of that myself. You'll never replicate them, but you can take on board some of the things that work. Because, like I say, my grandfather had that greatest saying, if whatever you're doing is not working, stop doing it. Do something different.
The moon still looks full, doesn't it?
I think Jojo's telling fibs myself.
I can't read what he say.
My girl, at first I was her pimp, then her husband. Now we are friends, and I challenge her to get picked up by another man. She does the same to me. One of the things that I know in my life is that I would worry about things, and in the end they weren't worth worrying about. But it's hard to pass on that knowledge to people who do worry about little things, because I did it. But I was probably about 40 odd, and I thought, no, I'm not going to worry about that anymore. Like, if I had my time back again, I worked 2 jobs for 20 years. Basically 14 to 16 hours every day I was working. And you got things, paid off houses, blah, blah, blah. If I had my time again, I wouldn't work 2 jobs. But you don't get that second pick of the cherry. Yeah, it's the little things, isn't it, Adam? It's like I mean, I've been through hard times myself, and you think, oh shit, how am I going to pay that? And then sometimes you go hungry to pay a bill. G'day, keeping. Yeah, I did. I owned businesses nearly all my life. Worked for people, did survey in the building game, had my own Pepsi franchise. Work. And you get stuff. You get rewarded for working. But in the end, you know, I wouldn't know whether it was day or night some days. Did Elbow get a new grill from the auto parts in Mexico? I think you mean girl. Yep, I'm pretty sure that his new girlfriend's called Kevin. Got a lovely little skirt though. There's so many delusional people. I avoid them now, but there's so many that self-promote themselves, want your money. They must be living a nightmare. They have nothing, most of these people, literally nothing. And I suppose they have to create a fantasy because the reality is horrible. That's probably how I would look at it. Yeah, I mean, you can have a good argument with somebody. There's no problem with that, as long as you both agree in the end that it's just a discussion and you walk away not agreeing with each other. That's okay. But some people on YouTube here make it a lifelong ambition to fight individuals forever, fighting shadows. I don't go to any of them, VMA. There's some people I like who have got super chat. I could have super chat. I never have. But I've worked it out. Every time there's a dollar figure involved on a channel, there's nothing but mayhem, anger, jealousy, fights, bitching, accusation. I imagine it won't be espresso. I imagine it's probably something like instant coffee of some sort.
Yes, yeah,
Buffering?
no, it's buffering.
Sorry about that. I'm 12,000 miles away from you. Council will pay out 300,000. That's not going to get anyone much, mate. Let's be honest. Yeah, no, I would never tell anyone where they can and can't go. That's not for me to do so. I've just realised every time there's dollars involved, the channel just turns to shit. Bad. You have your hangouts at a really weird time, Jojo. Come on, be honest. And I occasionally will see you come on, like 3 or 4 o'clock in my afternoon, and everyone else in North America is asleep except Jojo.
Hey.
and I'll come and say hello, but I'm usually only have my phone at that time of the day. Yeah, I could have had. Look, I've had people say, "Look, I'd like to donate to your channel." I said, "No."
Buffering.
And find a homeless shelter and do what we do and drop some food off.
Yep.
Still buffering?
No, it stopped.
Okay.
I don't know why it's doing it sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, Jojo, you do what I do. You get on just to chat to a few people that you enjoy their company. I haven't found anyone that comes in here and stays if they're a shithead. They come in and think, nah, Seeds doesn't tolerate that. I don't boot them. They get bored because there is no screaming and shouting going on.
But Jojo puts videos up and then he takes them down. I mean, you can't once leave up, that's fine. And the piano playing, I do like to watch that.
Yeah, Vinny, you can leave any time. There is no law in Australia that says that you have to. It may breach insurance policy contracts and things like that. That could be an undermining factor.
Yes.
But you can call an Uber right now and go home.
Vinny, I'm telling you, I've worked in hospitals and nursing homes. Don't do it.
Yep, the Russians are doing it. Yeah, I'm always a bit believer in the yin and yang of life. What you give, you generally get back. You can be really generous to somebody, and then something comes to you from not the same person. Just it's like the karma effect, as you say. But I always believe that if you do the right thing by people, occasionally someone will shit on you, and then I just burn them. I have nothing to do with them. But most of the time, that's not what happens. Most of the time, you do good, and good comes to you in different forms.
Yeah, but if you do it, Vinny, make sure you attach a GoPro to your head. Film it, will ya?
Yeah, I want you to start the hangout with the heading,
yeah.
The Great Escape. Well, I don't know. I do know the complications of Vinny's original accident and what was set and agreed upon, and he's got a thing happening with that. But this one's different.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone, if I have a stroke right now, they can take me to hospital and I could spend 3 months in there and then come home. I don't pay anything. We pay anyway. We have a Medicare levy off our income. Yeah, I'm not sure if you qualify for NDIS.
Yeah, you would.
No, it's
Well, in
income
New South
based.
Wales, you
It's well, no, there are parameters to it, but it's been a mess for the last couple of years. Some people have got it, and they get all the bells and whistles. But
So, I'm sure he would get it in Melbourne. Yeah, you've got to fill out paperwork and stuff, but I'm sure he'd meet the criteria.
I don't like Vinny. I've decided we're not going to give any money on the internet anymore. Zero. We in real life do stuff, but I just find that the deception and misleading behaviour of people is constant, and there are probably plenty of people that are doing the grabbing for money even now deceptively. So I just don't do it. We've decided not to do it anymore. Doesn't mean we'll stop helping people, but I've always worked on a very simple proposition, and that is help people in need, not in greed.
Yes, make sure you're dressed, Vinny. Don't wear your hospital gown when you do it.
I can just see Vinny in his motorised wheelchair busting out of the hospital with ACD track in the background singing Highway to Hell.
There's lurkers, Jojo.
No, it shouldn't cost you anything, mate. We have a pretty good system in Australia. There are limitations to Medicare, but basically most people
True, VMAC.
get taken care of.
55.
What's that?
55. Hey, you don't qualify. Could have sworn you would have.
No, he wouldn't. I reckon. We wouldn't get it either.
Well, no,
But I get all the hospital care free.
Yeah.
I mean, many years ago, I decided I'm not paying private insurance. Why am I going to pay a levy of thousands and thousands of dollars a year through my income and then pay private? Because the classic example, first child was born and a friend of ours had her baby at the same time. They had private insurance. I didn't. We walked out the hospital, same ward, same doctor, same everything. They paid $2,000. We paid nothing. It's all in the fine print. Well, I don't know what your exit plan eventually when you get home, Vinny, and when that would be, but you'll have, even though you won't get NDIS, you should be eligible for home visits, checkups, blood pressure, motor skills, blah blah blah. There are community services based, owned by the government, that do that here now, all over Australia. So you'll be eligible for that, and you don't have to sweep floors and mop. You can get someone in to do that. That's nothing to do with the NDIS. That's community based service through government institutions.
Yeah, that's right. The Benny Hill Hospital, yeah.
No, a lot of our meds.
Benny Hill.
I think if you're on a healthcare card, our meds are around locked in at about $4 for anything. If you're not on a healthcare card, there's still X amount you pay each year, and then it's free. It's something like $1,000. If you've got to pay $1,000 in medical, you get the rest of it for free.
Oh, look, if they know you're in a private health fund here in Australia, they jack the prices up. It's so obvious. So many times, like you said, someone goes in public, has a baby, gets same needs, same help as someone who's got health insurance.
Well, like I say, I've known people that had a stroke, and when I've asked the same question, what did it feel like when you had a stroke? They go, I don't know, because it just knocked them out. First guy said, I woke up 5 days later with bells and whistles going off around me, beep, bonk, beep. And then some nurse grabbing his willy to change his catheter. And another one said, I just don't remember, just hit me like a brick.
Our health insurance is not cheap. Australia is ridiculously expensive to get top cover a month, really, isn't it? And then you don't even get everything.
Well,
You've still got to pay a gap.
If you've got that
Especially
many,
dental.
that's a payout. That's not a think about it. So you'll get that. But don't be frightened in sticking a few extra bars in your shower and your toilet. I'm doing it now because I know that I'll be infirm as the years roll on, and I'm just aware of that fact.
And our biggest thing was that we get top grade non-slip floors in the bathroom.
Yep, you couldn't slip on these tiles we're putting down at all. Yeah, they'll have what they call an exit plan on who will come and see you. But I mean, maybe you can get some of the work done at home now, like extra bars put in. Seriously, I mean, just do it anyway. Whether you need the bars to get up and down or hang on to while you're in the shower, if you don't need them, fine. But I'm putting them in.
Oh, there's something what I've taught all our kids and grandkids when they get to the age is what to do in an emergency, as far as like ring. God, I have to think of the Australian one. 000. Run to a neighbour. We sort of and taught them their address and phone number. As soon as they're sort of old enough to understand and can retain that information, we've taught them all these little things like that. Because you're right, you just don't know. Oh, hey Mel.
Hello, Mel.
Yeah, it's important, Adam. Like, as soon as they're old enough, we've taught all ours.
Beautiful day today. Bit cool tonight though. But the good weather's coming, which is good.
Yep. That's got a bit
Oh,
of
geez.
pole dancing.
God help a nursing home if Vinny ever went there. I mean, seriously. He'll be smashing the fire buttons. He'll be setting fire to the coffee room, just for fun. That's not going to happen. He'll be at home.
But your family's doing okay, Vinny?
Yeah, we can't do much about that,
and if you
Anna.
won't scare them, you just need to sit down and explain it to them correctly. Like,
Mrs. Seed sent you DINs, so it's obviously on that page.
okay.
Oh, look, I don't see, Vinny, I'm brutally honest when it comes to things like the man in the tin van. He won't make 40 years of age. His van may last another 3 years, but he won't. And I don't wish that upon him, don't get me wrong, but he is a candidate for so many problems that he is, and he is totally oblivious to.
Oh my God, that's dessert.
Yeah, average, Mel. I'm just looking at the photo.
Average, come off it.
What is that? I can't work out what it is.
It's barbecue. She had a barbecue.
I think must be chicken. By the look of it, looks like a teriyaki cover on it. Yeah, I don't think he'll make 40. I just don't think he will. He has the body of a 65-year-old. He has visceral fat throughout his organs. He is morbidly obese. He is unclean at best every day of his life, living in conditions that third world people in third world countries wouldn't agree was healthy. I've seen shanty towns around the world and they're a lot cleaner than his place. But he has no concept of reality. He eats what I would eat in a week in a meal.
Buy a Google phone and have it
That's pretty good.
enabled to dial phone numbers. That is the only way that I could get a phone to ring my wife. We call the name. Actually, you say that now, Vinny. That explains exactly what happened the last time we had to take Mum to hospital before she passed. Now, my mum had trouble breathing, so I went out and said, Alan, call the ambulance. Alan called the ambulance. But it was weird what happened.
Phone rang.
The house phone rang.
I just like to say, I'm brutally honest, I can't see him living another 3 years. His deterioration is staggering. And no one could tell him that it'll be a case of he'll wake up in the ER, or maybe not wake up.
See you, Jojo. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to do, Vinny, with the phone. Yeah, it was very confusing when we had to ring the ambulance for Mum. What happened? I just don't understand. Yeah, can't explain it. Oh, of course, quarantine. Yeah, you couldn't.
Well, I'm guessing you've probably got another 3 or 4 weeks. That's all I'm guessing. But it depends on your improvement, of course. And you've had a fairly rapid recovery to a stage. And that's pretty good. That's good signs for sure. Isn't it funny? You'll get your bank send you an email and you look at it and think, I'm not interested in that, some sort of insurance deal. And then all of a sudden, you get all these emails from companies you've never heard of. Do the banks sell your information? I would put money on it. I don't trust banks as far as you can throw them. Well, my phone is just about kaputting, so I'll be ending this shortly. Good to catch up with you, Vinny, and everyone else. I don't know what they've put you on as far as meds, antibiotics, I guess, for chest infection. Are they making you have thickened liquid because of your chest infection? I used to try that stuff. It's bloody awful.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to give it to Mum.
Very unnatural, drinking thickened
But I
liquids.
did find a good thickener for Mum that didn't change the taste of whatever I thickened for her. Can't remember the brand name though.
It was actually a specialised company that came around, wasn't it, and talked about it.
Yeah, but that actually wasn't the thickener I ended up getting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just
True,
imagine
Vinny.
the technology that we didn't have before, Vinny. Even your mobile phone. You can remember the bricks we used to carry around. I used to do survey work with a phone that would last 28 minutes. So you turned it off. You never used it until you turned it on.
You should do.
It was about that big, I'm not kidding you, like a big brick.
Yeah, you should do a video on that, Vinny. That'd be a good little video to do to explain it in detail, or explain the process to people. But make sure you keep that video up. Don't make it alive. Make an actual video that you put up on your channel, because that's very good information.
Yeah. It's like there's some app that you can put on your phone that people who have major strokes or major problems, but they can just press it. It goes to a certain company, they call the ambulance, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to be able to press the damn app. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but serious, Vinny, do a video on it. Because for me to remember all this information, I'll have to keep going back to this chat, where if I had a video to go back to...
Here you get lots of people will phone you, email you that you've never heard of, and yet they'll say things like, "Hello, Seeds," and I think, "How do you know my name?" I always use the words, "Who are you?" and what company do you represent? I had one the other day, something to do with insurance. And I said, "I don't want to be rude, but if you call me again, I'm going to be very offensive to you. So I suggest you don't. Can you take my number off your auto call list, please?" "Oh, very good, sir. Thank you." Because if they do phone me back again, I'll rip into them like they wouldn't know. There'll be a new rectum inserted. Yeah, like I say, you may be more fortunate than many people realise, because you could get the communication.
Yeah, that's what I said, you do a video on it.
I suppose the doctors have also suggested to you, Vinny, not to snort any high contents of chili up your nose. Just a thought, they might say, "Vinny, could you stop fucking doing it, please? Just a suggestion."
I can tell this information to Emily, because she's got
Alexa, hasn't she?
she got Alexa or Google
think it's
Home.
Alexa.
She's got Alexa, my daughter, yeah.
I don't know what Vinny will answer, but like I say, the two mates that had strokes that I knew didn't know anything. They were out. Completely unconscious. Yeah, I do the same. Mac?
Yeah, we've got, I can't remember, I think it's some ridiculous thing, like 466 or something in Australia. If you've got numbers that end certain numbers, yeah, we don't answer them either.
Friend of mine, French-Canadian guy, he made a video, or actually an audio, of a call that he received, and it was a really nice, polite French-Canadian lady speaking in English, saying, "I'd like to know if you'd be interested in," and she went on for about 2 minutes. He said, "Oh, it sounds good, but I have one question first." She said, "Sure." "What are you wearing?" And she said, "I think that's inappropriate." He says, "No, it's a simple question." "What are you wearing?" Click. All right, my phone is about to die on the ass. Good to catch up with you. Just take it easy, Vinny. Just do what you can, get over that infection. And like I say, yeah, No one wants to be where you are. You're there. Just try and deal with it as you can, mate. I know you're bored as shit. That would be definitely. Yeah. Yeah, Ian, my friend, he said he didn't, like I say, first thing he woke up was some nurse playing with his willy, pulling out a catheter, putting another one in. I think his words were, I'm not sure whether I know you, young lady. But, yeah, like I say, life is like this golden trail. It all looks magnificent, and then you fall down a pothole. Never saw it. Never saw it coming. But at least, if you get a chance to walk down the golden trail again, give it a go. Tell you what, this voice to text is working out pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Looking at Vinny's, there's no misspellings and pretty clever. Alright guys, have a good one. We'll catch up with you all a bit later in the week. I'll do a bit more video, and at the end of the week I'll put up week 3 of the extension. It'll start making sense to some of you guys.
Yeah. As serious, Vinny, do the video on what you just typed about how you
you can't at the moment.
No, would like when you can.
Well, I suppose you could, but a bit crooked at the moment. Alright, good people. From the cute one, I don't know whether you can see her.
Oh, that's scary. Love yous all. Go on.
Yeah, no, I don't love any of you. Seriously. I like you, but don't push it. Have a good day, night, wherever you are, guys.